Hastings is a warm and plentiful district, a place in the sun feeding the world with its abundant riches, glorious fresh fruit and produce, award-winning wines, swimming and biking, fantastic weather and fun in the sun. Hastings has an outstanding landscape, the triple peaks of Te Mata and the stunning Cape Kidnappers with its famous colony of gannets. Hastings is the heart for many of New Zealand's favourite sporting pursuits and attractions. The business and retail precinct is at the top of its game. At the helm, its innovative, hard-working community. A diverse global and Māori culture enrich our district. Our kete is now full to the brim. Come and bask in the bounty of the Hastings district, the heart of Hawke's Bay.
Ultramox, the multi-worming solution for horses from Bayer.
Ultramox is the only triple active wormer that contains moxidectin. Ultramox is effective against internal parasites of horses, but the addition of moxidectin means that it's also active against encysted cyathostomes. Ultramox was developed in New Zealand and is manufactured in New Zealand for New Zealand horses. Available from your local vet, equine specialty or farm supply store.
Bayer, science for a better life.
The whole Akoya brand is founded upon the life and the way of life in this part of the world. We want to create fragrances that reflect our lifestyle here and reflect who we are as people. It's important that the environment, the fragrances, the natural waxes and everything play together to create this one beautiful thing.
Quiz. Query. Try. Spy. Take cover. Go for a swim. Go on a whim. Go outside in and inside out. Look once. Look twice. Follow a compass, not a clock. Never stop discovering.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the 2020 Land Rover Horse of the Year show. And here in the Premier Jumping Arena, where the scene is set now for our feature event of the day, the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. One of the bigger classes of the Horse of the Year show ahead of the Olympic Cup on Sunday. Well, our course designer's done a great job out here thus far during the week. He set another great course, and we're going to have a look around this course now and see what our riders are going to be up against in the Silver Fern Stakes. And join me is our live stream commentator, David Nichols. And David, the expert, the man of these course walks, you've had a look around this course, so let's talk the crew through it. We're going to start over here at fence number 1, the NRM upright. Nice, decent fence to start the riders off.
Yeah, and Werner's done a wonderful course here for the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Normally he gives you a nice little warm-up. He's asked a question straight off the bat. Fences 1 to 2, you've got an option here to jump in the 5-stride line, or you can push out for a 6. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of rails from this NRM fence to fence number 2. I would not be surprised if we see 3 or 4 take the rail here. The front of this oxer very early in the piece, and unfortunately that's going to determine where we go with this class.
All right, that's great. So fence number 1, for those of you not too familiar with the show jumping, is what we call an upright fence. So just the one single rail. As we came down to fence number 2, as David said, it's called an oxer. So you'll see the front and back rail. So there's 2 parts to that fence. So that's an oxer versus an upright. Okay, so through fences 1 and 2, we're coming down towards the grandstand. We take a left-hand turn to the catwalk oxer.
Yeah, and it's great to have Catwalk here on board as our show charity. So the Catwalk oxer, relatively square oxer, set at 1.45 m front and back rail and 1.48 m wide. They then go around the Hastings Hawke's Bay log here and they head to the Bailey's vertical. Fairly simple, fences 3 and 4. He's given them a nice ride, but he then starts to ask another question. Fence 5, the big Land Rover triple bar.
Alrighty, so there we go, folks. The Bailey's up right in front of the grandstand, coming around to the big Land Rover triple bar. Another new fence we haven't heard of. Triple bar, meaning 3 parts to the fence, the front, middle and back rail. And that's at fence number 5, riding down to the Cavallino upright. And we've got the yellow and black planks there at number 6, David.
Yeah, it caused a couple of issues, the planks in the classes we've seen throughout the day. We'll see how it goes. They're going to have a big leap over this triple bar. It's set at 1.48 m high, but it is set at just under 2 meters wide. So it's a big, bold ride. You've then got to sit up for the planks. Now the planks there are on flat cups. It's going to take the lightest of touches. So you've got an option here to do a nice forward 5, or you're going to have to hold for the 6, because question comes again at number 7 is, can you shorten up for the 4 strides to fence 7? Again, a skinny rail over a Liverpool.
So yeah, fence number 7, folks, just the white fence down through past the Cavallino there. You'll see it is skinny fence, as David mentioned, and underneath it we have the round simulated water known as a Liverpool. So again, another obstacle for the horses to look at as they're going over that one, David.
Yep, he then asks you to hang it to your left fairly quickly after fence 7. Watching and looking at a lot of these riders, they're going to be a little bit nervous when they jump fence 7, because it is a fairly tight turn, and we saw in the 7-year-old a few horses jump down this end here and had the rail just jumping into the Summit Grain saddlery tent, and a whole lot of stuff happening around them. So they've then got to turn hard left to fence 8.
Rightio, so we're over that little skinny Liverpool fence. We've turned left, as you've mentioned, and we come round now to the red and yellow big oxer. Now this looks like one of the a bigger fence on the
It is.
track so
It
far.
is set at 1.48 m square, but it's not overly wide. He's kept it fairly narrow, so he's given you a fairly soft option there, but he's then come and asked you a question. There's a lot of timber down here in this treble.
All right, well, we're going to wander over here and see if we can get the camera down the treble to see what the riders are going to be facing for you, folks. So the big question here, the treble, the Wade Equine Coaches treble.
So fences 9A, B and C. It's a vertical in. He's asked 1 stride. It's a little bit long as what we would know. So we generally work off a 3.6 metre or a 12-foot stride for a horse. They've got a landing and a takeoff spot. Fern has kept it a little bit long, so the horse has to stretch for this back rail. He's then shortened up part C, which is 2 strides, to ask your horse to come back. It'll be interesting to see how many times this C comes down.
So pretty challenging then, coming off that big ox here, you've said, onto this treble line, a bit of a curve as well.
Yeah, you've got an option of 8 strides. You can shorten it and ride in the 7. What you don't want to do is shorten it and ride it in 7.5, because if you go 7.5 down there, that fence is going to get really, really ugly.
Alrighty, well, we've successfully made it through the big treble, jumping great into the stand, and then we're going to turn left now, aren't we, down to the other side of the arena, heading towards home.
Yeah, correct. Jumping along this far side of the arena, fences 10 and then down to 11A and B. Again, he's given you an option here. He's made it enough so that if you want to be bold and go forward for the 6, it's there, but he'll punish you at B. So the option here is a 7-stride line. It's fairly straightforward. Jump in the oxer. He's kept it a bit narrower, but he's left fence 11B up very high. That's at 1.47 m high.
Well, there you go. We're getting towards the back end of the course now. We're over that double there, 11AB. Jumping towards the gate too, before they turn away from the in-gate. See that as posing too much of a problem?
I don't think so for a lot of these horses. What will be the problem is when they have to go away from the gate, they're going to have to sit their horses up again. It's 12 numbered fences. It's a long course, and there's a lot of concentration required from these horses and riders as well.
All right, so we've gone over that double, we've gone through the in-gate, and we've got one more on the course to go.
Fence 12, a fairly straightforward final fence, and it'll be interesting to see how that jumps. Like I say, with the concentration of both horse and rider, it's going to be an interesting challenge.
Well, there you are, folks. That's how it looks. The course that our riders are going to be facing here in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes is looking good, and it's all set to be an exciting class. We're about 5 minutes away from a start, so sit tight. We'll be back with the action of the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes very shortly.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020, the big competition, Friday the 13th of March 2020, Land Rover Horse of the Year, the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, 1.42 m, 1.50m. You see the first combination in the arena there, just passing the screen behind us here on the edge of Land Rover Premier Arena. And that is Tegan Fitzsimon, and she rides Windermere Cappuccino. 19 combinations to attack this Werner Degg designed course. We had a quick walk around the course a little bit earlier. The first question comes up at fences 1 and 2, and then we've got a big treble at fences 9, A, B and C. Down them they take a big turn, 10, 11A, B and 12. So it'll be an interesting competition. 19 combinations. It's a 2-round competition, and we are set to go. Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020. Tegan Fitzsimon aboard Windermere Cappuccino is our first combination. They have won the World Cup Series in New Zealand for the last 2 years. They won the Grand Prix Series 2 years ago. They won the World Cup Series for the last 2 years running. Very, very accomplished combination. We see now Windermere Cappuccino and Tegan Fitzsimon. Time allowed for this course of 80 seconds. The time will be tight. These riders need to travel around about 375 metres a minute. Comes down 5, 6 and 7. First real big question. Now she's got to shorten up for the 4 to the Liverpool. Nicely done. Windermere Cappuccino for Tegan Fitzsimon. Gives it a little rub, but it stays in the cup. She comes to the treble, 9A, B and C. One stride over the oxer, shortens up over the upright. Big leap over fence 10, shortens up to 11A and B. Nicely done there for Tegan. Oh, cracking round, cracking round. She's all clear. 76.29, time allowed of 80 seconds. Great way to start the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. And arguably the form combination coming into the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Tegan Fitzsimon jumps all clear. Great way to start. Land Rover Horse of the Year Friday extravaganza. We go now to Clark Johnstone. Clark is aboard Versace C, formerly ridden by Nick Brooks. Bred by Caroline Toomey by the stallion Voltaire 2. Completed a finance degree from Otago University, did Clark. And he rides Versace C for good friend Nick Brooks, owned by Nick and Natasha Brooks. Oh, a little bit of a miscommunication there, but he's clear. Nonetheless, is Clark over fence 7. Comes to the treble now. Clark Johnstone on Versace C. Shortens up nicely over C. Comes now to 10 and then heads down to 11A and B. Just drops his legs through the back rail of that oxer. It is a 2-round competition though, this class. It's a 4-fault round for Versace C and Clark Johnstone. 75.75 is his time. So time relatively comfortable there for Clark. Just under 5 seconds under the time allowed of 80 seconds. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, set at 1.40 m to 1.50 m. Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020. 19 combinations start this class. 2 have competed. Tegan Fitzsimon has gone clear and Clark Johnstone has had 4 faults. Logan Massey. Nice forward ride down there aboard Lamondo GNZ. Owned by Massey Agribusiness and Golden Grove Stud by the stallion Lordano out of the mare Lamona. Only an 8-year-old stallion is Lamondo GNZ. Didn't quite stretch out enough there for fence 5. There's a rail down at 8. Oh, a bit sticky jumping into the treble, but bold ride there for Logan to push him through that treble over B, the big oxer. Nice forward ride to 10. Over 11A and B comes to the last, sitting on 8, does Logan Massey aboard Lamondo GNZ. Jumps the last inside the time allowed. It's an 8-fault round for Logan Massey aboard Lamondo GNZ.
Time over 80, not troubling any of the first 3. And a total of 8 still just that 1 clear round. First rider, it's in it.
No stranger to Premier Arena on course now in 1 season. Our youngest rider at heart was seen in the game for a very long time. He made his international debut back in 1986 representing New Zealand.
So Morris Speetson aboard Central Park is the next combination by Eurosport. Centavos out of the mare Silk and Spice. Bred by Imogen Neal. ridden and owned by Murray. Competed at the Olympic Games in '88 in Seoul, did Morris. First of his 2 rides in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Just the one clear. First combination we saw out. Windermere Cappuccino and Tegan Fitzsimon. They went clear. Clark Johnston aboard Versace C had a rail down. And we just saw Logan Massey aboard Lamondo GNZ go for 2 rails. Murray just has 1 down at fence 6 there. Comes now to this big Wade equine treble. Over A, B and C. Comes now to fence 10. Down this last line. Comes to the last now. Morris Beatson aboard Central Park. It's a 4-fault round so far. And that finishes on 4, does Murray. And Central Park, 1 rail down at the Cavallino yellow planks for Morris Beatson aboard Central Park in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Metre 40, metre 50. 9 grand to the winner of this class. 14 combinations left to go in the first round. This is a 2-round competition. We welcome now Nikisha Lammers. She rides Resolution. Has had a great show so far, has Nikisha. She was 2nd in the Lady Rider, 2nd in the Norwood Gold Cup. What can she do in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes? She rides Resolution by the stallion Cassell out of the mare Blushing Bride, owned by Diana Lammers, Nikisha's mother. And Nikisha riding at Dickey Stables in Okura in the Taranaki with partner Matthew. Nice ride down there to the triple bar. Shortens up for the planks. Nicely done 6 to 7. Had a great ride at Takapoto on Resolution in the 2nd week. Oh, very sticky at A. Fortunately, she'll get 8 faults with the rail down at B and C. Well, it's a 12-fault round for Nikisha, and she'll be slightly disappointed with that round.
77.12, 77.12. Revolution. Nikisha Lammers just away at quite coaches treble, falls to the ground for a total of 8. Well, if the kids are getting a little bit restless and you're looking for something to do, we want to tap along at 5 o'clock till 6:30. See you in the food court area. There'll be live music and freight making taking place. There's something else to do here at the Land Rover Horses here. Live music.
So, next combination, Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. It's an 8-fault round, Nikisha Lammers and Resolution. They join Logan Massey and Lamondo GNZ on the 8-faulters. 2 4-faulters is Morris Beatson and Clark Johnstone, and now 1 clear. The first combination out, Tegan Fitzsimon aboard Windermere Cappuccino. So we go now to Brooke Edgecombe, and she rides LT Holst Andrea. Saw her daughter out in the 5-year-old class this morning with Julie Davey. LT Holst Andrea for Brooke Edgecombe. They were the runner-up 2 years in a row in our World Cup Series. From Waipakarau is Brooke. And LT Holst Andrea. By Cassell out of the mare Pauline. Bred by Ewan McIntosh and the team at LT Holsteiners in Taupo. Runner-up in the World Cup Series the last 2 years. To the current combination that was out first and clear. Tegan Fitzsimon aboard Windermere Cappuccino. At the treble now. Just the one down at sea. Looked a little bit spooky coming into the treble, did Andrea. Over A and B there. Coming to the last on 4 faults. LT Holst, Andrea and Brooke Edgecombe. Oh, and she drops a rail there too. So it's an 8-fault round as well for Brooke Edgecombe aboard LT Holst, Andrea. It is a 2-round competition though. But we have one combination that sits on a clear. That's Tegan Fitzsimon aboard Windermere Cappuccino. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Friday the 13th, Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020. Land Rover Premier Arena, the last class in the Land Rover Premier Arena. We've got 13 combinations left to go. We welcome now Annabelle Francis aboard Garado GHP. From Taupo is Annabelle. I saw her on her other horse in the Lady Rider yesterday. 17 years old is Annabelle. And Garado, 13-year-old gelding by Carantino, out of only U5. Nice forward 5 ride down to the Liverpool for Annabelle. Comes to the treble now, does Annabelle. Over A, B and C. Oh, great ride. Annabelle Francis aboard Garado GHP. So she will be back for the second round. Guaranteed. Annabelle Francis and Garado GHP. They join Tegan Fitzsimon and Windermere Cappuccino as a clear round. Still got 12 combinations left to go and some very, very capable combinations in those still to come. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, $9,000 to the winner. The combination you see there in front of you, Court to Flex Graffiti MH for Melody Matheson. She works for BNZ. She lives here in Hastings. World Cup winner in 2017 at both Fielding and Taupo was Quarterflex Graffiti MH. They went to Australia last year. They placed 5th in the Silver Fern Stakes here last year. Quarterflex Graffiti MH. Bred by Matthews Hanoverians by the stallion Graf Top. Again, Melody join our 2 other clears. Tegan Fitzsimon and Annabelle Francis. She comes to the Wade Equine treble now. Nicely through the treble. Takes the inside line there, does Melody. Pays off though. Oh, and just rattles that back rail. But the class hasn't finished yet. It is a 2-round competition. She'll just finish on the 4 faults. She'll just finish with the 4. Melody Matheson aboard Quarterflex Graffiti MH. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes for 2020. 11 combinations left to go in the first round. 2 have gone clear, Annabelle Francis and Tegan Fitzsimon. Welcome now the young lady, Olivia Dalton. And she rides Sildara Bonaparte. By the stallion Balou du Rouet.
In Western Australia, and first his career before playmaker in Australia before being purchased here in New Zealand.
Jumped in Western Australia, did Sildara Bonaparte. And Olivia purchasing out of Western Australia. Sit on 4 faults at the moment. Young Olivia, 18 years old. A little bit short, going to use all its scope. Not quite enough to get out over the big oxer at 9B. Daughter of America's Cup legend Grant Dalton is Olivia. A little bit deep to the last, but it's a 12-fault round for Olivia. 12-fault round for Olivia and Sildara Bonaparte. We'll go to 9th at this stage in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. 1.40 m to 1.50 m. 9 combinations are left to go in this first round. Definitely we'll see the 2 clears of Tegan Fitzsimon and Annabelle Francis. They will be coming back for the second round, and then we will find out how many and who else will join them. Should we get any more clears, they will definitely be back. Should we not get any more clears, the judges will determine at what faults do we cut off a request to come back for second round. Next combination we welcome from Vandyberg, Robert Steele. He is aboard LT Holst Bernadette. Owned by Rob Steele. By the stallion Ascari out of Tamara, LT Holst Bernadette. 4th in the World Cup Series this year was Rob. Nice ride down there, 6 to 7. Great ride so far, Rob Steele, LT Holst Bernadette. He's just got to jump the last, and he jumps that, and he's just inside the time allowed too. The time allowed of 80 seconds and Rob's time of 79.66. So clear round number 3. He knows how to ride the clock, does Rob, and he does it perfectly. Robert Steele on LT Holst Bernadette. Clear round number 3. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes.
We welcome to the Premier Arena now, today's winner of the Ultra Mox
young lady there in front of you. She won the the lady rider last night in Land Rover Horse of the Year Premier Arena 2020 on her horse Monte Carlo MVNZ. Today she rides Natasha Brooks's Twerk. Good friends as Rachel and Natasha. She's just picked up the ride from late January this year. She had a good ride in the Lady Rider yesterday on Twerk, finishing 6th. She won it on her other mount, Monte Carlo. She takes a rail there. Just didn't look as if they judged the height quite right on that yellow plank. A little bit hesitant over the oxer there, looking nicely into the treble. Pricked ears for Twerk, the son of Lansing. Out of Butch and Lou, Thomas Mere Jazz. Just shut down a little bit through the double there, did Twerk. She jumps the last and she'll finish on 16. Will Rachel Malcolm aboard Twerk? It is a 2-round competition, but I don't think the 16 will be enough to see Rachel back for the second round in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. 1.40 m to 1.50 m. This is set at. 3 combinations have gone clear. 11 combinations have attempted. The first combination out, Tegan Fitzsimon went clear. Annabelle Francis aboard Garado GHP. And we just saw Rob Steele aboard LT Holst Bernadette. Guarantee their spots in the second round. 8 combinations left to go in the first round. First of those is Sarah West, young lady from Matamata, working for Tiakel Racing, as well as studying equine dentistry. And she rides Della Marie Sun. Saw Sarah ride in the Lady Rider yesterday. They placed 5th. Della Marie Sun by Kayuna Majestic Supreme. Thoroughbred cross. She's clear to fence 7. Della Marie Sun and Sarah West turns around to fence 8. It's not a very, very wide oxer, but it's big enough. She comes into this treble just a little bit deep at B. She also takes the shorter route to fence 10. She knows full well that if she's going to finish on 4 faults, she'll need to have a fairly quick time, but cops a rail there at 11B. Jumps the last clear, and it's an 8-fault round for Sarah West. You see her come into the treble now over A and just a little bit deep to B. And jumps out nicely over C. Sarah West and Della Marie Sun. They slot into 7th at the moment, with their 8-fault round being the fastest 8-fault. Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020, Friday the 13th, back number 13, Fibre Fresh Verona and Briar Burnett Grant. Will it be lucky 13? They are the current young rider champions, having won that only a couple of hours ago. They won the Olympic Cup in 2018. This combination right here in front of you. 2018 Olympic Cup winners. She won the Premier League back in 2018. Fibre Fresh Verona. Flash, as he's known at home, for Briar Burnett Grant. Can she add to our list of clears? Give us 4 clears as we go into the second round. Or Kivsa planks a bit of a rattle. Flash or Fibre Fresh Verone for Briar Burnett Grant, the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Nice big leap over the ox. It comes to the Wade Equine treble. Just gives it a little bit of a rub and it drops, does fence 9A. She also knows that she's going to have to be fairly quick if she wants to. And if she does finish on 4 faults to stay in the top 6. And it's a 4-fault round. 69.74 is the time. It's 4 faults for Briar Burnett Grant. She'll slot into 4th, being the fastest 4-faulter at the moment, but it is a 2-round competition. 3 combinations have gone clear. Tegan Fitzsimon, Annabelle Francis and Robert Steele. 3 combinations are clear so far in the first round of the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Go now to Jeremy Whale aboard Remarkable. 6 combinations left to go. Jeremy Whale, full-time trainer and horsebreaker in Diamond Lodge in Cambridge. Very, very talented educator of young racehorses. There's Jeremy and his partner Sam Matthews at Diamond Lodge. By Ramirez out of Tamata Rata, owned by Victoria Yang. Ridden by Jeremy Whale, 9-year-old. Comes to the treble. Oh, pops fence A as well. It's come down a couple of times, has the A of the treble. Nice bold ride down here to 10 and 11. Be one of the biggest tracks Jeremy's ever jumped. This combination. And it's an 8-fault round. Jeremy airboard. Remarkable. One at the treble and then one at 11A for Jeremy Whale and Remarkable. Wanders on through the IRT arch, does Jeremy. Go now to a former Norwood Gold Cup, Silver Fern Stakes and Olympic Cup winner, former World Cup and Super League Series winner, has competed on the New Zealand team both in New Zealand and Australia on 2 wonderful horses. One was Swinger and the other Right Royal. Welcome Simon Wilson, and he is aboard Macmillan's Aradeos. Holstein a South Francais cross, bred by Belinda Girl. We saw Simon's wife Claire Wilson out earlier in the 5-year-olds. Great to see Simon back in the big classes here at Land Rover Horse of the Year. Also a very accomplished racehorse trainer. There's Simon. The star horse last year, Des, winning a couple of the Cups races in the New Zealand racing scene. Strong ride into the treble. He's got to get to that back rail. Shortens up for the vertical. Gets out of it. He's clear so far as he comes to 10. Strong ride to 10. Shortens up to this double. Oh, lovely ride, Simon. Just got one to go. Simon Wilson aboard Macmillan's Aradeos. Oh, great ride. Simon Wilson, he's all clear. 4th clear round. Clear round number 4. He used all his skill to get clear aboard Macmillan's and McMillan's Aridos be round number 4. 4 combinations left to go in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes.
4 combinations still to go, and in the arena now is Kimberly Bird, the young rider from Ashburton. She's on the ESN Talent squad and rides the 10-year-old Holstein mare, 7 Casino by Casino 2 Angel Coletta, bred by Kerry Parker. They red form this season and have a win in the CSI one-star meter 40 class at the National Young Horse Championships in December.
So our next combination. We welcome Kimberly Bird aboard Sierra Casino. Another Australian bred horse, this time bred by Kerry Parker. By Cassini too, of the mare Carletta. They won the World Cup class at Taupo in Christmas time, did Kimberly, aboard Sierra Casino. Their biggest win to date, that was. From Ashburton is Kimberly. Works on a sheep and beef farm down in Ashburton. Second in the Young Rider and Lady Rider of the Year back in 2018 was Kimberly. Clear A, B and C. Just sitting on the 4 faults. The rail here at the Catwalk Oxa. Well, it's a 2 rail down 8 fault round for Kimberly Bird and Sierra Casino. 1 at fence 3 and unfortunate 1 at the last. So 3 combinations left to go, and at this stage we have 4 clears. Annabelle Francis aboard Garado GHP, Windermere Cappuccino for Tegan Fitzsimon, McMillan's Aridos and Simon Wilson, and LT Hulse Bernadette for Robert Steele. They are our 4 clears. The first of our final 3 combinations in the first round of the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. We welcome back Clark Johnstone, and this time he is aboard Quainton Labyrinth, a German sport horse by Lancelot Quainton of the mare Carnaby. An Olympic eventer is Clark, aboard Balmoral Sensation. He rode at Rio, was the top performed Kiwi combination at the Rio Olympics. Saw him out here earlier today aboard Balmoral Sensation. They hold an equal lead in the Land Rover CCI 4-star eventing phase, with Balmoral Sensation at 35.4. They hold the lead jointly with Bundy Philpott and Tresca. Cross country set to get underway about 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be coming to you live on Sky Sport next. Eight faults so far for Clark and Quinton Labyrinth. $16 for Clark and Quinton Labyrinth over A and B. Last fence to go. Quinton Labyrinth and Clark Johnstone. And it will be time faults as well to go with his 20 jump faults. He'll finish on a total of 22. Clark Johnstone and Quinton Labyrinth will finish on 21. We won't see them back for the second round on Quinton Labyrinth. May well see him on Versace C. Depending on what our final 2 combinations do, we've got 4 clears Tegan Fitzsimon jumped a super clear. First rider out, made it look so easy. And then we had to wait for a little while for Annabelle Francis to jump clear. Then Robert Steele jumped clear. And we just saw Simon Wilson, a couple of horses go clear on McMillan's Aridos. So, young farmer from Danny Verk. Country calendar star is Logan Massey. Manager of 4 sheep and beef blocks down in Danny Verk with his partner Alexa Dobson. Very accomplished young rider is Logan. Rides intellect. 10-year-old Bay Gelding by Leo Kalon out of the mare Wilma. Bred by Kim and Greg Best. Bred a lot of good horses, has Kim and Greg. This is just one of them. They bred Popeye that jumped in the Nations Cup for New Zealand, and they won in Abu Dhabi a month ago. Ridden by Tom Tarver. Pre is Popeye. Aiming for Tokyo 2020, that team that rode in the Nations Cup at Abu Dhabi. Logan Massey comes to the last. He's on 4 faults at the moment. He's up and he finishes on 4. He'll slot inside the top 8. Will Logan aboard Intellect. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. 1.40 m to 1.50 m. One combination left to go in the first round. That is Morris Beatson aboard Mandalay Cove. Second ride for Maury. He had 4 faults on Central Park. Mandalay Cove by the stallion of Maury's goes Wishing Well out of the mare Millie Matrix. Can Maury get 2 through to the second round? Mandalay Cove for Morris Beatson. He has won the Norwood Gold Cup 4 times. He's won in excess of 200 Grand Prix, has Morris. Very Morris ride down to the water jump. Morris has undoubtedly got the most unique riding style in New Zealand, but the beauty of show jumping, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as the horse is happy and jumping well, and Mandalay Cove is certainly doing that today in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Huge leap over fence 10, comes down to the double 11A and shortens up to B. Wait for the big cheer. If this guy jumps clear, the crowd will go mental. Oh, well. They saved the best till last. Clear round number 5. It's all clear for Morris Beatson aboard Mandalay Cove.
Silver Fern Stakes, and of course Cavallino boasts current European design trends, combined with the latest technology and fabric, bringing in an affordable quality collection.
Well, that concludes the first round of the Silver Fern Stakes, brought to you by Cavallino, and we'll just get confirmation from the judges of the draw order for round 2, and let you know which riders will return in just a moment.
So Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, 1.40 m to 1.50 m. You see there in front of you the leaderboard, 5 clear and 5 for falters. We'll get confirmation, but by my reckoning they'll bring 10 back for the second round. Anything on 4 faults and less will be back. The 5 of them are guaranteed. Those are Annabelle Francis, Tegan Fitzsimon, Simon Wilson, Morris Beaton on Mandalay Cove, Robert Steele. Those 5 have gone clear, and great rides. All clear, those 5 combinations. The 5 on 4 faults are Brian Burnett Grant, Melody Matheson, Clark Johnstone aboard his first ride, Versace C, Logan Massey on Intellect, and Morris Beaton on his first ride, Central Park. So by my reckoning, there'll be 10 that'll come back for the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. We've got prizes down to 10th place, $9,000 to the winner. Morris Beaton has got 2 grabs at that check. He went clear on Mandalay Cove and he had 4 faults on Central Park. 5 clears, 5 on 4 faults. We'll be back with you shortly from Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020 for the second round of the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, brought to you by Stirrups Equestrian on Sky Sport next.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Land Rover Horse of the Year. Friday the 13th, 2020, coming to you from the sunny Hawke's Bay, the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. I have in front of me here the trophy, the Ian Nimmin Memorial Grand Prix. It's presented for the winner of the Silver Fern Stakes. Maurice Beetson's name here on the back of the cup 3 times. Last one in 1994 aboard the great Minute Linker. Harvey Wilson, John Coddle, Leanne Chambers, Katrina McLeod, just to name a few. The winner last year has gone on to great things, Tom Tava-Preeb and Popeye. They jumped for New Zealand in the Nations Cup in Abu Dhabi just 3 weeks ago, winning that for New Zealand, going back-to-back in Abu Dhabi, did Team New Zealand. Katie McVean, or Katie Laurie as she is now, her name pops up on this trophy a number of times, and we will see who will be crowned 2020 winners. We've got 10 combinations to come back to fight out the $9,000 winners prize, and more importantly, they get to put their name on the Ian Nimmin Memorial Trophy Silver Fern Stakes, sponsored by Cavallino today here at Land Rover Horse of the Year 2020. So those 10 combinations to come back. We'll have Maurice Beetson will be on his 2 rides, first out on Central Park, and then he'll come later on Mandalay Cove. We've got Logan Massey aboard Intellect. We'll have Clark Johnstone on Versace C, Quarterflex Graffiti MH and Melody Matheson, Fibre Fresh Verona, and Briar Burnett Grant. They are our 5 on 4 faults. You see there in front of you the 5 clears. Robert Steele aboard LT Holst Bernadette. Maurice Beetson on his ride Mandalay Cove. Simon Wilson aboard Macmillan's Aridos. Windermere Cappuccino. They were the first out and they went clear, and a cracking clear it was for Tegan Fitzsimon. They will be 9th out. And Garado GHP for Annabelle Front. So she'll be last out. Young Annabelle from Taupo. The pressure will be on her to jump a double clear. We hope that we will get a double clear. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, 1.40 m to 1.50 m. Second round set to get underway very shortly here in Land Rover Premier Arena. So, Land Rover Horse of the Year, Land Rover Premier Arena for 2020. The Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, second round. The man there you see in front of you rides Central Park. Morris Beatson, he's had two cracking rides. Jumped clear on his second ride. Mandalay Cove, one rail on Central Park. And here's the first of our four falters. 5 on, 4 and 5 clears. They then head to fence 14. New fence on the course. Comes round now to head to the Bailey's Vertical. Morris Beatson on Mandalay Cove. Turns up to the Catwalk Oxer. Fence 3 on the first round. A big leap. Goes now to 11A and B. What was in the first round? Heads to what was the last fence. Oh, and he gives that a rail there. He's got the last one to come. That was fence 2 in the first round. He jumps the last and he'll clock out at 63.71. 63.71. But he'll finish with a 2-round total of 8. Will Morris Beatson, and his time in the second round, 63.71. So run very similar to the World Cup competitions here in New Zealand. 2-round competition, but the second round is against the clock. Should we have an equality of faults, the time in this second round will be the determining factor. So Morris's time of 63.71 could be important should we have an equality of faults. 4 more combinations to come in on 4 faults and 5 to come in on clear. Logan now goes to 8 faults, an accumulative 8. Goes now to 16, does Logan, aboard Intellect. Relatively inexperienced at this level is Intellect. Now use it as an educational round, warming up for Sunday's big Olympic Cup. Doesn't matter how many rails he has down, he's got full rights to complete the course. He'll be a little bit disappointed with this round. He sits on an accumulation of 24. He comes to the last, does Logan Massey aboard Intellect. Not the greatest of rounds for Logan, but he will be back. One man never to give up is Logan aboard Intellect. He'll finish his 2 rounds on 24. And it's time for the second round of 63.92. So we welcome back Versace C, ridden by Clark Johnstone, owned by Nick and Natasha Brooks from Cambridge. From Martangi is Clark. Hoping to be selected in the eventing team for Tokyo 2020. But as we are all aware, anything can happen, especially with the unfortunate events of coronavirus at the moment. Anything's possible with the Olympic Games. Versace C for Clark Johnstone. Time will be the important one in this second round. Should we have an equality of faults, that's how we'll determine the winner. A combination with the quickest time in this round. Oh, and he has a rail there at the fourth to last fence. Comes to the second to last. What was the last in the first round? He sits on an accumulation of 8, the same as Morris, but we'll check his time, and he'll go to 60.26, and he'll go to the lead. Will Clark aboard Versace C, 60.26. And goes into the lead after the completion of 2 of his rounds. Versace C for Clark Johnstone. Melody Matheson aboard Quarter Flex Graffiti MH. They sit on 4 at the moment. Just got a little bit flat to the Cavallino planks. She gave the first one a rub and chanced her luck at the second, not to pay off. She also now sits and accumulated 8 penalties. There's 5 combinations that have gone clear in the first round. 5 sit on 4 faults. This is the 4th of those 5 on 4. The time is 60.26 is held by Clark Johnstone. He sits in the lead at the moment. Aboard Versace C with a 2-round accumulation of 8. She comes to the last. She's quicker than Clark's time by 3 seconds. She goes a 56.5. And she will finish on an accumulation of 8:56.50. Very quick time. She goes into the lead, does Melody and Quarter Flex Graffiti MH. But 6 combinations left to go. And there's not many that are quicker than this combination you see in front of you. Fibre Fresh Verona. Got the nickname of Flash. They won the Olympic Cup in 2018. Briar on her other horse. Won the young rider only a couple of hours ago. Should she jump this clear, she then puts the pressure on all the other combinations to have to jump quick and clean. No flashes quick across the country. Can they keep it clean? Briar Burnett Grant. Fibre Fresh Verona. 19-year-old from Taupo. Sets up for the double. She's jumped clear through the double. She's got 2 to go. She's going for it to the second to last. And she's clear so far. She comes to the last. The time is quick, but she's clear. That's the important one. 53.05. 53.05 for Briar. But she's clear, so her 2-round accumulation finishes her on 4. That is going to be the important part. 53.05. Fibre Fresh Verona and Briar Burnett Grant. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. One hand on the Enderman Memorial Trophy for Briar. Can she pick up 2 big classes here on Friday at Hoy 2020? 5 combinations are left to go. They are the only 5 that can take it away from Briar Burnett Grant. They all sit on 0 penalties coming into this second round. Should these combinations jump clear, they will then move into the lead because their 2-round total will be 0. But there are 4 very quick combinations to come. They're all going to want to win, not only bragging rights, but the $9 grand check Oh, comes inside, does Rob Steele. LT Holst Bernadette gets away with it. He's not covering the ground as quicker as what Breyer did, but he's taking the shorter route. His time has got to be quicker than 53.05 should he have a rail. Rob just gonna go clear. That's his at the moment. He's well down on time. If he has a rail, he'll drop well down the leaderboard. Comes to the last, does Rob Steele. LT Holst Bernadette, and he jumps double clear. Wow. 57.41. Time a little bit irrelevant compared to Breyer's time because he's gone all clear. He goes into the lead. Rob Steele aboard LT Holst Bernadette. It will have been a while since Rob's had a big win here at Land Rover Horse of the Year. We go back to around about 2004, 2005 with a Gospel. And it'll be a very, very popular win should Rob take this out. He's got 4 combinations that can beat him. And there ain't no more competitive than the man in the ring. We're talking to him at Christmas Classic and he wants to win the Olympic Cup one more time. And then he was talking about retirement. I don't think this man will ever retire. Morris Beatson rides Mandalay Cove. He jumped a super clear in the first round. Can he go double clear? He'll go quicker than Rob. I reckon if he's clear to the last, he's going to go for it. Morris Beatson aboard Mandalay Cove. Big bold ride, oh, and he pays for it with 2 rails at the double. He'll go into 8 faults. Accumulation of 8 there for Maury and Mandalay Cove. His time will be important because that'll sort out the minor placings. 2 rails down, 8 faults, 61.61 is his time. And he'll pop into 5th place. Will Maury and Mandalay Cove. So, the next combination, 3 left to go. A good mate of the current leader. So, what's he going to do? Simon Wilson aboard Macmillan's Aridos. Both fierce competitors, Simon Wilson and Rob Steele. There is no mates in the ring. They will both want to win it as much as each other. Simon's not going to give it to him because he knows full well there's 2 combinations after. Simon Wilson. Macmillan's Aridos. He's got to go clear first and foremost. The time has got to be quicker than 57.41. He has a rail at the MRN vertical. He won't win it. If he carries on a 4-faulter, he's got to be quicker than Breyer's time on 53.05 to move up the leaderboard. Breyer, Burnett, Grant on Fibre Fresh, Verona. They were very, very quick. Rob Steele, LT Holst Bernadette. They hold the lead with the only double clear at this stage. Silver Fern Stakes. Sponsored by Cavallino. We're watching Macmillan's Aridos and Simon Wilson. He sits on 4 after the 2 rounds. His time will be determined where he finishes in the minor placings. He'll clock out at 61.7. 60.17. That'll slot him into 3rd place at the moment for Simon Wilson and Macmillan's Aridos. 60.17. They'll slot into 3rd. Behind the only double clear, Rob Steele and LT Holst Bernadette. But hold your hats, ladies and gentlemen, 2 very, very capable young women come into the arena. Land Rover Premier Arena, Land Rover Horse of the Year for 2020. This combination won the World Cup Series 2 years in a row, back to back. As a rail at the Cavallino planks, Rob Steele gets closer and closer and closer to the Ian Nimmin Memorial for the win in the Silver Fern Stakes. Windermere Cappuccino, Tegan Fitzsimon in the ring now. They sit on 4 faults as their accumulated total at present. They go now to 8. Windermere Cappuccino, the little coffee horse that could. She finishes on 8, 53.15, 53.15. Very quick time for Windermere Cappuccino. She will finish on 8 faults. That'll move her up to 4th. Tegan Fitzsimon and Windermere Cappuccino. Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes for 2020. Land Rover Horse of the Year. Here we go. The title will go to one of 2 places. Will it go to the young lady from Taupo? Will it go to the dairy farmer from the Hawke's Bay? She's got to jump clear. She's got to go quicker than 57.41 if she wants to win it. Annabelle Francis aboard Gerardo GHP. 57.41. The time's beatable, but she's got to jump clear. She's going to be slower if she keeps going like this. She's slightly down on Rob's time at the moment. 57.41 is well beatable in time-wise. But she's got to go clear. She's 2 from home. You can hear the go calls from the IRT riders' tent. She is going. 57.41. She's not going to do it. She's going to be slower. She goes to 2nd. 59.97. 59.97, and she will go double clear. She'll go into 2nd in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Will Annabelle Francis aboard Gerardo GHP. She'll go into 2nd, Will Annabelle Francis aboard Gerardo GHP. But you see there in front of you, and my word, it's going to be a popular win out in the riders' ranks. Robert Steele aboard LT Holst Bernadette picks up the win in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. 2nd will go to Annabelle Francis aboard Gerardo GHP. Briar Burnett Grant will pick up 3rd on Fibre Fresh Verona. Macmillan's Aridos will go 4th for Simon Wilson. Tegan Fitzsimon will pick up 5th aboard Windermere Cappuccino, and 6th place will go to Melody Matheson on Portaflex Graffiti MH. A great win, long time between drinks for Rob Steele in Land Rover Premier Arena. He takes the win in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes, 1.40 to 1.50, part of the Friday night extravaganza here in Land Rover Premier Arena. We'll shoot down to presentations very shortly, but a great win to Robert Steele and LT Holst Bernadette. Takes the win in a clear in a 57.41. Annabelle Francis will finish 2nd with a 59.97 double clear. The only 2 double clears here in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. Rob Steele and LT Holst Bernadette get their name etched on the Ian Nimmin Memorial Trophy for 2020. Presentations will happen very, very shortly in Land Rover Premier Arena.
much, Tim. And another great class here, ladies and gentlemen, in the Premier Jumping Arena. The Silver Fern Stakes is always a feature event, and this evening was definitely no exception. Well, very shortly we'll welcome our place getters into our presentation, but in the meantime, chance to welcome from Stirrups Equestrian on behalf of Cavallino, Caitlin and Leanne come to join us for the presentation. And firstly, Caitlin, it's great to have Cavallino on board sponsoring these beautiful rugs we've been seeing out here for the winners of each class.
Yes, thank you very much. Unfortunately, Paul from Cavallino couldn't make it. He had to go home on a family emergency. But he is absolutely delighted to be sponsoring the rugs for this year's Horse of the Year. And he's absolutely delighted also to be sponsoring the Silver Fern Stakes.
Well, the rugs are absolutely beautiful, as been seen coming out, and they can also be purchased from Stirrups Equestrian. And we've got a special rug for tonight's winner as well.
Yes, they do. They get their own Silver Fern rug from Cavallino, and they can be pre-purchased from Stirrups Equestrian as well.
Fantastic. So you guys are on site this week as well. Where can we find you?
We're down by Ring 1, just in front of Ring 1.
Fantastic. Well, great to have Cavallino and Stirrups Equestrian on board supporting the Land Rover Horse of the Year. And very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome our our place getters into the presentation, and we'll very much see the special Cavallino rug on the winning horse tonight. So stand by, ladies and gentlemen, for their presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now presentation time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our presentation. Our place getters in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. On hand to assist with our presentation again, we welcome Caitlin and Leanne from Stirrups Equestrian on behalf of Cavallino. And also it's a very warm welcome to Sue McLennan, wife of the late Ian Nimmin, who will present the Ian Nimmin Memorial Trophy. We'll now ask our winning rider if he could dismount and come forward to be congratulated by our sponsors. That's it. That's you, Bob. You won this. Jump off. Ladies and gentlemen, as he comes forward to be congratulated by Stirrups Equestrian, our winner of the Silver Fern Stakes for 2020, Robert Steele, LT Holtz, Bernadettes. Make leave it on. Now we'll ask Sue to come forward and she will present the Ian Nimmin Memorial Trophy to Robert Steele. Put your hands together for him one more time, folks. Get him nice and close. All righto. Don't ask me too much. Mate, it's been a long time between drinks, between winning titles at the Horse of the Year. How does it feel to be back in the winning circle, though?
No, it feels great. I've just been a show that's been unlucky for me, and it's just one of those things you just have to keep trying, and then one day it'll happen. So, no, I couldn't be happier.
Well, you and the horse been together for a few years now, developed a really nice partnership.
Yes, we've probably been 5 years. Last year she had a paddock injury and missed the season, so this is, back this year.
Decent tracks out there again for both rounds again. How did you find those tracks set by Winnipeg?
Well, I thought it was a great track today to come out on top. Yeah, no, they are nice tracks. They take a bit of jumping, but yeah, that's what we're here for.
Well, it worked out for you nicely today, mate. Well, well done. Congratulations. The winner of the Silver Fern Stakes for 2020, Robert Steele. You can take that one too, mate. Oh, just while we have the obligatory photos taken, she put up a great fight too, ladies and gentlemen. Just got pipped on the time, finishing in second place, riding Corrado GHP, Annabelle Francis. Can you hold that, love? In third place, aboard Fibre Fresh Verona, Briar Burnett Grants. In fourth place, aboard Macmillan's Arados, Simon Wilson. In fifth place, riding Windermere Cappuccino, Tegan Fitzsimon. In sixth place, Quarterflex Graffiti MH, Melanie Matheson. And LT Holst Bernadette certainly look in the picture in the wonderful Cavallino rug tonight. Well, there's only one more thing to do, and that's get behind all our place getters, ladies and gentlemen, as we congratulate them all, and we ask them to take a victory lap led out by the winning combination aboard LT Holst Bernadette. It was Robert Steele.
Best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count.
A Silver Fern Stakes winner for 2020, Robert Steele, LT Holst Bernadette.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
Well, a great win there by Robert Steele and LT Holst Bernadette in the Cavallino Silver Fern Stakes. 1m40 to 1m50, the big class here, and a Friday night's Land Rover Horse of the Year. Great to have you join us via Sky Sport Next. Remember, we are 2 more days of a competition here at Land Rover Horse of the Year. Tomorrow we are set to get underway at 10 o'clock with the Premier Stakes, set at 1m40. Then at 1 o'clock we are looking to get underway with the Land Rover CIC 3 and 4 star cross country phases, and then 5 o'clock. The big one for the young kids, the Farmlands Pony of the Year, set to get underway at 5:15. But from Land Rover Horse of the Year for Friday the 13th, 2020, I bid you farewell, and we will see you back here for Saturday via Sky Sport Next.
I have to pick myself back up, and when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up.
Hastings is a warm and plentiful district, a place in the sun feeding the world with its abundant riches, glorious fresh fruit and produce, award-winning wines, swimming and biking, fantastic weather and fun in the sun. Hastings has an outstanding landscape, the triple peaks of Te Mata and the stunning Cape Kidnappers with its famous colony of gannets. Hastings is the heart for many of New Zealand's favourite sporting pursuits and attractions. The business and retail precinct is at the top of its game. At the helm, its innovative, hard-working community. A diverse global and Māori culture enrich our district. Our kete is now full to the brim. Come and bask in the bounty of the Hastings district, the heart of Hawke's Bay.
Quiz, query, try, spy, take cover, go for a swim, go on a whim, Go outside in and inside out. Look once. Look twice. Follow a compass, not a clock. Never stop discovering.